Welcome back to my channel. My name's Lisa Jane and I would love for you to stick around and subscribe down below. In this video I'm going to be starting a new series on this channel, and it is finishing books that are in the middle of series. So it might be the second book in a series, the last book in the series. You get the idea, and you've probably seen these videos many times on other people's channels. So starting off in this video, I am going to be reading Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is part of the Boys of Tommen series. I have read Binding 13 and Keeping 13, and now I'm moving on to this duology in the overall series, if you like, which focuses on Joey and Aoife. I started this yesterday and I'm nearly 100 pages in now. Really enjoying it. It's, like I say, focusing on Joey, who is, if you've read the first two books in this series, is Shannon's older brother. And we are just seeing everything now from his perspective, but going back to his younger years as well, starting high school or secondary school. I don't know what it's classed as in Ireland, because this is obviously based over in Ireland. But yeah, really good so far. Just getting some backstory on Joey. And yeah, I will update you as soon as I have some more to say on it. I'm not sure what other books I'm going to be including in this vlog, so obviously when we finish this we can decide on our next book together. I obviously need to be really careful with how much I'm talking about in this book, with it being part of a bigger series. But I can tell you that it's following the same format as the first book. So we're getting Joey's POV and we're also getting Aoife's, which is great. I think that's my actual favourite type of book layout now. I've read obviously a fair few books, and I find when it's following different points of view, I really like that. So yeah, not much further on from the last time I spoke to you, but I just, like I say, wanted to state that I might not be able to talk about this book too much because I don't want to spoil it for other people who have not even started the series. But it's the next day. As you can see, I'm in different clothing now, and I am just short of the 50% weigh mark. I did a lot of reading in bed last night. This book, enjoying it's probably the wrong word to use because of the topics that are in these books, but I am really interested and I do keep going back to the book like I did with the first two. However, I would say the first two have hit me a lot harder than this one, and that's not to say that there aren't sensitive topics in this, because there most definitely is. And I would definitely recommend that you read the trigger warnings on all these books before you read them. Not much more to update really, because I don't want to give the story away. Like I said, we've gone back in time before Shannon's story, if you like, in the first two books, and we're seeing Joey growing up, and we're also seeing Aoife growing up as well from her perspective. And at times I feel like, and I don't know whether it's because of the what am I trying to say, because of the experiences they've had as children, whether that's made them mature before their age, because sometimes I read it and I think, would a 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy be talking in this way? But if you see the experiences they have to live and deal with, then you can understand it. I hope this is making sense, and obviously for anyone who's read these books, they might know what I'm referring to. But yeah, halfway through, I'll probably catch up with you now when I get to the end of this book, because like I say, I'm not going to be giving lots of details away about what's in it. Just know that there are sensitive topics in there that need to be not addressed, that's the wrong word, sorry. They need to be, I need to warn people about, if you are new to the series and don't know anything about it, definitely check your trigger warnings. So I just wanted to come on and give you my final thoughts on Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I've just recently finished this morning. I am going to give it a rating of 4.5 overall. Like I've said before, enjoy is probably the wrong word for this book. I would say I did really like it, and I have flown through it because I've read it in like 3 days, which is really good for me. However, I felt like in the middle it lost me a little bit, and I found it could have been a little bit shorter, this one, whereas Binding 13 was like 800 and odd pages, and I flew through it and felt there was a need for every single point in that book. This one I didn't feel quite the same. And I love Joey, and I really like Aoife. You do get to know Aoife obviously a lot more in this book. However, yeah, that's my feelings on it. I would say the last 100 pages maybe is where it picked up for me, and I felt like I was listening to the same sort of story again as I had heard in the first couple of books. You may not agree with me, it's just the way I'm feeling right now on it, and like I say, I'm going to settle on a 4.5 for this book, so it's very good. Definitely would recommend reading these, but obviously take heed that there are some triggers in there for some people that might not be great. So yeah, finish that one, and what I will do is I'm going to leave it for a little bit now. I'm just about to go out for an hour or so, and then when I've decided on my next book, I will come back and let you know what I'm going to read next. I apologise if you can hear the weather outside. It's really stormy today, I'm not quite sure why. It's like really rainy and windy, so I don't know if you can hear that, but it is the perfect environment for reading in. And to carry on this vlog, I am going to be reading my second book, which is continuing a book in the series, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Now, I know some of you are going to be screaming at the screen saying that's the first book in the series. However, I read the newest book, Sunrise on the Reaping, a couple of months ago and absolutely devoured it. So I wanted to go back and reread the book. Well, I say reread the books. I've only ever seen the movies. So this is a new experience reading the books. The plan is to read all these again, and then I can reread the last book. Without further ado, I'm just going to start this reading. So, as you saw in the last clip, I have now started The Hunger Games, the first book. Obviously, I know what happens in this book, and what I will say is I'm about halfway through now. and it is just like the film. So the films on this occasion have really done the book justice, in my opinion. If you've not read The Hunger Games or seen the Hunger Games movies, it's basically a world where we have a place called the Capital, which is like where all the wealthy live, all the top dogs basically, and then we have districts from 1, and it used to be 1 through to 13, but there was a rebellion and the Capital needed to show basically the districts who was boss, and they just totally got rid of District 13, so now there's only 12 districts left. And that's where the Hunger Games comes from, because they created these games where they cull, if you like, children from the ages of 12, I think, to 18. They cull a girl and a boy each year, I think it's each year, to take part in these Hunger Games, where it's basically a battle to death. So you'll have, I think it's 24 children, basically, essentially young adults fighting to win this game. And it's really sad when you think about some of the things and the politics that are included in the book. And it's made me think very differently about it, because obviously when I first watched the Hunger Games I was a lot younger, and now you see different things when you read it again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Like I say, the movie is so good. It's really, like, I feel like they've took every part of the book and put it into the movie. I don't feel like we've got any parts missing that I can see up to now. But yeah, obviously when I've finished, I will obviously give you a round off of this book and give you my final rating. But to be honest, I really can't see it being less than 5 stars. I don't think I'm a harsh person rating books. Maybe I'm not the right person to rate books, but I prefer to, if I really enjoy a book, I'm going to give it 5 stars. It's as simple as that. If there is something in there that's not quite right, obviously I will lower the mark, the star rating a little bit. But The Hunger Games, I love the movies and I'm thoroughly enjoying the book. So unless something dramatically changed, which it can't because I've seen the movie, then this book will be getting 5 stars. But like I say, when I've finished, I will get back to you and give you my final thoughts. I have just finished The Hunger Games, absolutely 5 stars. The movie couldn't have done this book any more justice. The movies are brilliant, to be fair, or the first movie definitely is. The only thing, there was a couple of things in here that I haven't picked up on in the movie. I know one of them was not focused on as much as it is in the book, but I don't want to give anything away, so that's why I'm just talking about it cryptically. But after doing some research, they were mentioned in the film, but not probably as much as it was in here. And then there was another bit towards the end where there are mechanical creatures involved, shall we say, and I didn't realise something about them as well. And like I said, I don't want to give anything away, and if you know, you know, but I had to research that up and check to see if that's what happened in the film, and apparently it did. So I am gonna go back and watch the movie as well, just particularly for these 2 points. Like I say, one point wasn't focused on as much in the movie apparently as it is in the book, and the other one did happen in the movie as well, and I don't remember it. So with all that being said, like I say, thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew I was always going to, because I love the film, and I'm going to obviously give this the 5 stars it deserves. I haven't yet decided what I'm going to pick up for my third and final book in this vlog. However, I will come back to you when I've made that decision. So I haven't updated this vlog in a little while. I know it's not obviously out for you to see yet, but when you watch it, it will appear slightly behind where we are. So in the last couple of books I read, the first one was, I think it was Saving Six, and obviously since then I've actually read Redeeming Six as well, but I didn't want to scrap this vlog completely because I just want to get used to filming and make sure that I am documenting as much as I possibly can. So I do want to continue this vlog. I am going to finish it off with one last book. This book is from my August TBR, and it is Powerless by Elsie Silver. This book, it just says, two childhood best friends, two broken hearts, one impromptu road trip to get away from everything. I've been living in the friend zone for years now. To Jasper Gervais's fans, he's just a hockey heartthrob on TV, but to me, he's still a lost boy with sad eyes and a heart of gold, the man I've loved in secret for years. So when my life falls apart on my wedding day, it only makes sense that he's the one to swoop in and save me. And when his world comes crashing down around him, I'm there to return the favour. So I won't obviously keep going, but you get the idea. I have not long finished another book, which was quite a long book, and it was a fantasy book, so this will be a bit of a break for me to read. And like I say, we are nearing towards the end of August as I'm filming this, so I want to get at least one more summer reading before it's over. Although, to be honest, I am a autumn girly through and through. I love autumn and I love Christmas time, so it's actually coming up to my favourite part of the year. But yeah, enough rambling and let's get started. I just wanted to have a quick catch up as I have been storming through this book. I'm actually about 50% of the way through and haven't updated this vlog. I'm a really bad person. If you don't know this series, which I'm sure you do, this book is book 3 in the Chestnut Springs series. So each book follows one of the Eaton boys as far as I'm aware. So in the first book we followed Rhett and Summer, his sort of love interest, and then in the second book we followed Cade. I think it was Cade, I'm sure it was Cade, and his love interest Willa. And then in this one we are following Jasper. Jasper is not a brother of Rhett or Cade, although you could technically say he's like a brother. He's had a bit of a traumatic past. There are themes of anxiety mentioned in here, and I would be very careful going into this book. Jasper had a bit of a turbulent upbringing later on in his childhood, and you find that out as we go through the book. And he was taken in by Harvey, who is the Eaton boys' dad. So he lived on the ranch with them. So basically he is like their brother, but technically not. And we meet Sloane in this book, who is the cousin of the Eaton boys. And Sloane has had, I'm not telling you anything that's not probably on the back of this book, to be fair. Sloane has had the biggest crush on Jasper since she was a tiny dot, since she started to have them type of feelings. She's always loved him. I think at one point in the book she's tried to, when they were younger, she tried to ask him to go to her prom with her. And because there is a bit of an age gap with them, he sort of refused because he didn't think it was the right thing. He plays, I'm trying to think what he plays. It's hockey. Yeah, hockey. I didn't know if it was ice hockey. He plays hockey, so he's like a big star, or he was rising to stardom at that point. And yeah, he didn't think that was the right move, obviously going to a school prom with a younger person. So she sort of felt a bit heartbroken by it. And I think that they've always been friends, but obviously she feels more. And then during this book we find out that Jasper has feelings, or he's beginning to have feelings for Sloane, and it's a bit of that friends to lovers I think is going to happen. But yeah, it's a really good book. I'm really enjoying it. In fact, I've enjoyed all of these so far. I think they've all been like a 4-star or above. But I will probably catch up to you now at the end, because these are so quick to fly through. Like I say, I'm 50% of the way through, and I don't want to just keep stopping every now and again, because they are just romance books at the end of the day, cowboy romance, and you sort of, or I do, go into them sort of knowing what's going to happen. So yeah, I'll leave it there, and when I've got some more to update, or at the end of the book, I'll do like a final thoughts on it, and then with my rating, and then yeah, that'll be the end of this vlog actually as well. But yeah, I'll speak to you very soon. So it's the next day now, and I finished Powerless last night. It's up there somewhere. I think you can probably see it just behind the other 2 books. Like I say, Powerless is the 3rd book in the Chestnut Springs series and follows Jasper and Sloane. It's your typical cowboy romance book. You sort of know what's going to happen, but it leaves you with that cosy feeling, and it's just really easy to read. I think I've read this in like literally 2 days, and it's over 400 pages. So yeah, it's really easy to read. I really enjoyed the story. I think I've told you a bit about the story already. I want to sell my previous bits in this vlog, but my final rating for this book is going to be 4 stars. I think pretty much all the books in this series are around the 4-star mark for me. They're not like anything that blows your mind or out of this world. However, they are really good reads, and you feel good when you're reading them. I would say this book, again, it depends how much spice you like in your books, but I found at one point it was really taking me out of the story. Well, not taking me out of the story, because it was part of the story, but it was too much basically. And I don't know whether my tastes are changing as I'm reading, or I'm not bothered by spice one way or the other. It can be in it or it doesn't have to be in it. However, this was just, I think at one point I was reading about 50 pages non-stop of just spicy scenes. So it depends what you want in a book, but I did really enjoy the story. So yeah, do with that what you will. And yeah, that's the end of this vlog. I'm hoping obviously to continue this series, because there are so many series I'm in the middle of. To be fair, a lot of the ones I'm in the middle of I am up to date with, so it's not too bad. However, I will be starting new series as well, because I think I picked some new series to start in my September TBR, I want to say, which should be up now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I would love to see some more people subscribing to the channel if you like this type of content. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.